to be
I do
delusional. I
want to
let
answer
people be
that.
delusional in their
Yeah,
own
I do
way.
want to answer that because I am older and I can concede to what you're saying. There are some older women who are not, they are not correcting their traumas, but I can concede to part to what she's saying. Right. There are some older women, but let me just say it wasn't a majority of women going to Freaknik. People like me was in salons making money. But I will say that we can only hold ourselves accountable for what? It's only so much we can do. If we're not raising our children to be better versions than us, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. We are. I can't tell you how to act as a younger woman because I don't know you. You're not in my household, but I can teach my sons to be husbands, which they are. I can teach them that, which the dad did. So we did our part through our children. We should have. But I can be honest with you, I didn't raise, and I'm glad a woman spoke of this earlier today. I did not raise my kid with trauma. I did not sit down and tell my kids stories of things that I did back in the day. I just raised them to be better. That's it. Sitting around saying, well, somebody touched me when I was young, or somebody, and I never spread that trauma to them. That's not their responsibility. Your trauma is your responsibility. So we don't have to teach you anything but better. That's it.
Facts. They need to look in the mirror, especially because they're adults right now. She's an adult. Instead of trying to blame your single mom and trying to blame other older women for their past mistakes and whatever they taught you, it's time you as an adult woman to look in the mirror. Hey, listen, my mom wasn't married. I grew up in a single mother household. She was strong and independent. Do I want to be like her, or do I want to be different? What can I do different from what my mom did, or from what these older women did, rather than trying to blame them and trying to pretend like as if the reason you are in the position you are in is because of them. You can still be a better woman. That's if you want to be a better woman, because most of you still seeing strong and independent don't need a man. She's right. Shout out to Granny.
So the thing is, we can only teach you so much because at the time you got to understand your kids are going to come for you too. Okay. Because there's always going to be something that you did not do. That's just life.
Facts.
We feel like our parents didn't have to do something. They thought
Yeah.
the silent generation didn't have to do something. Your kids are going to come for you because you only know what's going on now. You only
Yep.
function in the now.
Facts.
You don't know what's going to happen 10, 20, 30 years when your kids are also grown saying, hey, mom, because times have changed. And they can be like, well,
Facts.
hey, my mama didn't teach me this, or my mama and my dad didn't teach me this. They're going to come for you too. It's
Facts.
not about us, Gen X or silent generation or baby boom messing up stuff. Every generation go after the previous
I'm gonna have to
generation.
leave, not to cut you off, but I really
No,
can't
go
hear
ahead.
you. And
Okay.
so I want to
You
have
can
the
leave it with your brother.
conversation, but
No,
I
go
can't
ahead.
hear. So I'm gonna leave and then come back, and I hope
Okay.
it's fixed.
Yeah, that's
See? Instead of taking accountability, now she wants to leave because Granny just said all facts. Like, were my parents perfect? No. Should I? How long am I going to keep blaming them rather than try to figure out how to be a better person? I'm an adult now. Whatever my parents did wrong, it's over. It's done with. It's up to me as an adult to take accountability for what I can take accountability for. Right? I cannot keep blaming my dad for not doing ABCD. I cannot keep blaming my dad for not teaching me how to be a husband. I cannot blame my dad for not teaching me how to be a businessman, how to start a business, how to manage money. I cannot do that. I'm an adult right now. It's either I look in the mirror, try to learn, seek knowledge, or blame him, be like her, don't like to hear the truth, and then run away when someone speaks the truth. She's running away. She's afraid of the truth.
I had that issue earlier. That's why I kept dropping out earlier. But I just want to let y'all know every generation gonna come for the previous generation. I don't care who you are. They're gonna have some questions for you. But I will say to minimize that is to not raise your kids in your traumas. In your traumas. That's where the abuse comes
Lady,
from.
but
That's
lady,
where the
I
threat comes from.
mean not lady. I'm sorry, Dr. Lady.
Uh-huh.
But can't you understand how it's rare for a woman to be able to, even though she may have not succeeded at certain things or
Mm-hmm.
things transpired in your life, you're still able to hold the line and say, hey, look, marriage, all of these things that people are seeking after, it's still good to go after
Yeah.
versus the women who become jaded.
Well,
say,
my
well, you know,
kids
because
saw
Um,
my kids saw a two-parent home, and although me and my ex-husband parted ways, and he remarried, he'd been married 20-something years. They saw the best co-parenting relationship between us. I never alienated him. I never said he could never see his children. I don't care if he couldn't pay child support. That was not the problem because I knew his time was going to suffice everything in raising kids. That was the best for me. They did not see that. Even now, me and my ex-husband, we talked for Father's Day for what, an hour, hour and a half, laughing and joking, talking about how hot-headed we was when we were young and married. That's what we built. So that's why when people say you're a failure, baby, I'm nowhere near failure because I have corrected whatever issues that I did when I was younger. Trust me.
but just because you failed at it doesn't mean that you can't
Yeah, it
withdraw
doesn't
from
mean
but
getting
I'm
the
not
here's
process.
corrected. I
the
don't have
gripe
a
That's
I
bad
true.
have with
relationship with
that,
my ex-husband.
because I
Hmm.
missed some of what you said, Lady O. But the gripe that I have with that, and I will include you in this, Darwin, is that we give so much forgiveness when we feel like we can relate to someone's failures, but when someone who we can't relate to their failures, we have no room for forgiveness.
No, we give forgiveness for those who take accountability. She literally said she took accountability for what she did wrong. And she said she did the best she could. And she said she could have done better. She didn't try to turn the kids against the father. She didn't try to put the man on child support because he got married to a new woman. Some women put the man on child support, you know, try to make sure he doesn't see his own kids, especially if he finds a new woman, gets married to a new woman. They don't want the kids to spend time with his new woman. Like they hate the fact that the man moves on and they try to use the kids against him in that situation. And she didn't do any of those. Yeah, did she divorce the husband? Yeah, sure, but she took accountability. She didn't try to say, oh, he was a bad man, I had to divorce him, he was abusive, controlling, like some women do. But she still doesn't like the fact that she took accountability. She's gonna find someone else to blame.
Because while what Lady O said was great, I also know that salons were messy and they gossiped in salons and they gave bad advice in salons like they did
That was
barbershops.
some though,
And
yeah.
I also know that the older generation perpetuate they no, they may not have sat down and be
Hmm.
like, oh, I was touched as a child, but they
Hmm.
oftentimes protected the uncles that were touching the children that they were supposed to protect. So when we're having this conversation, the reason that I feel like this conversation lacks a
Hmm.
lot of dishonesty and not towards you specifically, we're even it's saying like, oh, it wasn't the majority of women at Freaknik. Freaknik wasn't filled by majority of men.
Oh, for
Okay.
sure.
It was women up there with 5, 6 hands down their shorts living their best life.
Oh,
And
I
it's
heard,
okay that
I
you don't
told
tell
you.
your daughter, go do that. But we're also not telling our children to be mentally capable of even handling marriage. Because when we're preaching marriage, but we're preaching it in a way where it's a broken
Hmm.
foundation, that
Right.
does more harm. Because why are we telling children to get married? And whether or not they know what a two-parent household looks like, do they even know what it means to regulate their
Well, I will
emotions?
say,
Do
well,
they know?
Oh, here we go with the emotions. Everything emotions, emotions, these emotions that regulate. How can you move from let's teach kids how to be married to let's teach kids how to regulate the emotions? Like everything goes back to emotions. Let me guess, she's gonna mention therapy next. Like this is some bullshit. Anyway, shout out to Lapith.